Hello, viewers. My name is Mark. I'm making another audio today. I want to talk about my personal favorite show, Breaking Bad, and talk about how it is the best TV show ever, in my opinion, or in my TV shows of any TV shows that I've seen so far. To me, Breaking Bad has a special place because it's one of those few shows where you almost can't say anything bad about it. You know what I mean? And I want to I want to make this very quick and simple. I want to make it three reasons basically about this show. Number one, it's one of those shows where you got hooked. It was one of those shows that you couldn't stop watching. But not necessarily because you couldn't stop watching it, but it's just that you wanted to know what's going to happen next. And it's almost like after every episode ended, almost every episode there was like a climax. There was a reason to keep watching. You just wanted to keep watching and watching the show. And to be honest, Breaking Bad, in the entire series, I can't name not one bad episode Breaking Bad had. I mean, every single episode was great. Every season was great, and there was never that one season where it was kind of down or kind of stale. It was always very good show. No matter what, you knew what you were getting, but you kept watching and watching. Reason number two, talking about the characters, how the characters were so, every single character on the show, they all hit their ceiling. You really did. Because at the start of the show, if you had told me Walter White was from the beginning of the show to the end of if I saw Walter White from the first episode and I saw him at the last episode, it's a pretty big difference. Pretty big difference. And to be honest, you did not expect a character like Walter White to be such a big fan of. I really didn't expect when I saw Walter White first. I thought I'd be rooting for the guy because he's the good guy, but I never really thought he'd be a character that transcends. And now everybody, even when the show ends, now everybody talks about Walter White or Heisenberg. You know what I mean? There's always a Walter White reference almost every day now. That's the big impact. You did not expect Walter White to make that such an impact. Also, Jesse. When you look at Jesse's character, at first, you could have seen Jesse's character as annoying or comic relief, and maybe towards the end of the show he was maybe unloyal, you would say, or maybe you would say, a lot of fans were going against Jesse at the end. But not to spoil anything, I want prevent as many spoilers as possible. But Jesse's character, to be honest, like in the first season, he was kind of an annoying character almost the entire time. But then when you really got to the root of his backstory and all the things that have happened to Jesse, you really do feel for the guy. I mean, Jesse was one of those characters that you just wanted something good to happen to him. You wanted him to have a good ending because the man went through a lot of stuff. And probably when you look at Jesse and looking back at it now, pretty sure Jesse regrets being with Walter White, or regrets something that was so funny at first turned out to be so dark and so full of regrets. It was almost as if death wasn't the worst thing of this whole story. And basically what I want to get to is like another thing also I want to get to is my third reason, which is basically a little extension of the second reason, was the whole Walter White story. It made it intriguing, but it also twists and turns, kind of mess with fans' minds a little bit. Because we were rooting for Walter White, the chemistry teacher, the innocent chemistry teacher who just wanted to make enough money for his family, to a guy who was obsessed with empire and power, and we still rooted for the guy. You know what I mean? His story was one of the most unique stories in TV. You could have Lost, you could have a Dexter, maybe the Wire, or maybe Game of Thrones, But that story with the whole Walter White, it's really a fascinating story because the journey happened a lot. But even during that journey, a lot of bad characters came through and mostly became, some fans were actually rooting for some of the villains, like Gustavo Fring. I mean, you don't know what Gustavo Fring was up to. You know what I mean? Was he really trying to backstab Walter White? That's a spoiler. Was he trying to, this whole time, was he trying to kill Walter White? Or was he just, what I mean? Maybe he was just annoyed at Walter White. He just wanted to put him away. But Gustavo Fring was such a badass character. And Walter White became a badass character as well. It was almost unbelievable. Gustavo Fring was without doubt one of my favorite characters from the Breaking Bad show. Because how Gustavo Fring, man, the man walked in as a badass and he left as a badass. I mean, just look at what happened to him at the end. I mean, I'm telling you, only Gustavo Fring could pull that off. It was an amazing exit. But it's definitely a very good show. And to me, it's one of the best ones. Because Lost, I seen the whole show. Lost is just full of question marks. There's a lot of questions. Lost was such a great show. They turned something from people being stuck into an island to something much, much bigger. But at the end, by the ending of the show, you got a lot of question marks. Like the origin of the black smoke and stuff like that. You got a lot of questions and left some questions unanswered. And Lost, there's some things that, I mean, there was a point, there were some episodes where I think it was unnecessary and Lost, but it really was to explain more of the story. I seen Dexter. I mean, listen, bottom line with Dexter is simple. Watch season 1 through season 4 of Dexter, and you don't have to watch the show ever again. Just, you don't have to watch 5, you don't have to watch 6, you don't have to watch 7, you don't have to watch 8. It's basically, it hits the same point. Really, after season 4, the entire show of Dexter was Dexter can't be with anybody. Dexter gotta be alone. Dexter can't be with a family. He can't be fine, no matter what. Something's always gonna screw it up. That was the whole point of Dexter, really, after season 4. Okay, season 7 was good for Dexter in my book, and how it ended was shocking. And season 8 was good. Season 6, I kind of hated it until the ending. Season 5, I kind of like the whole, Lumen part. How, Dexter finally had somebody with his whole secret, and the fact that Lumen never came back after season 5, to me, I still don't understand to this day. But and how Dexter ended terrible. Let's just put it like that. The ending of Dexter, I love watching Dexter, but for the love of God, season 8 was just pathetic. The ending was ridiculous. The woman, Hannah McKay, the woman that Dexter supposedly is with goes away with Dexter's child, and I don't feel comfortable about that, okay? Didn't Hannah McKay try to poison? For crying out loud, she almost killed Dexter's sister. So if Dexter feels enough confidence being with, leaving his son to her, then, be my guest, you know what I mean? But, Dexter, bottom line is, Breaking Bad is way better than Dexter. Breaking Bad is better than Lost. And Breaking Bad had a good ending, unlike Dexter. And there wasn't such confusion, so much mystery like Lost. You know what I mean? Now, I haven't seen The Wire, and I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I would like to get you guys, all of your opinions. Please comment and subscribe to our channel, Dawn Scale. And have a good day.